Hello and welcome back to Odrick Sports. Colton Hall here with head coach Tom Tieszen of the Spearfish Spartans varsity football team. Coach Tieszen, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So I really wanted to, I'm not going to dwell on it too much, but obviously from coming off a game against arguably one of the better opponents we'll see, or the best opponent we'll see potentially this year, Pierre, what is just kind of your general reaction to the way things ended up?
You know, obviously frustrating. That's a game we want to win. And a game that we believe we're capable of winning. So to not come away with the win was obviously frustrating, but we learned a lot as a team. We learned how not to defend that formation that really got us. We learned that no matter what, we're going to fight, and that we were down 17, still fighting to the end. Our guys never quit, and I think we learned that we can be up 21, we can get excited, but we need to maybe stay a little bit more neutral, not let emotions kind of good or bad get us. We're really good at controlling our negative emotions. Now we need to get a little better at controlling our positive emotions, which is weird to say and think about. But
usually the other way around.
It is. If you get to an emotional high, there's always a valley that follows. So, I think I was really proud of how we fought through that whole game. And it's kind of funny. We don't really look at rankings too much or anything, but the coaches poll came out, and we actually bumped up in rankings after a loss. So that kind of shows you how good of a team Pierre is and how well we played that game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you look at the way things ended up, I think you learn. I was talking about this with somebody. It's the fact that you learn a lot more from those games as opposed to nothing against Douglas, but a 40, 50-point win over Douglas. I feel like you
right. And, I'll be honest, I'd say this a lot of times. I would rather lose a really good game and play our best football than win a game where you maybe don't have to play your best football. So we for the most part played our best football against Pierre. I'd say 97% of the time, and Pierre just really capitalized on that 3%. But it was a fun game. That's kind of what football's supposed to be, an up and down emotional roller coaster, and see who ends up on top.
Absolutely. And exactly 24 hours from now, and by the time this comes out tomorrow morning, we will be on the football field in Sturgis. What is kind of your general thoughts and what's preparation been like this week? Well,
it's a short week, playing on Thursday, which is always goofy to me, but they're a good team. They tackle well. They're solid up front. So we've been preparing some of the things that formation-wise we think we can take advantage of. Moving some guys around, getting some guys in new positions where we can have an advantage. So this week we've been, shortening things down, looking crisp, practicing some things that maybe we're holding in our back pocket till we need them, and just getting ready to go, because we know Sturgis is going to bring everything they got. They're a good team, and it's a rivalry game, so anything can happen during these games.
Absolutely. What's kind of like, I know a lot of coaches want to, or at least some coaches in my mind, want to keep something secret, especially as you get into the playoffs. What's your kind of philosophy on like kind of looking at tape from past coaches and then see what they've done in the past, and kind of knowing that, hey, like there might be something coming out that we haven't seen before, and trying your best to prepare for something like that?
Right. Sturgis has a great special teams coordinator. So one thing that comes to mind is they shift during their punt. But they haven't really done anything with that shift. So it's always kind of something where if you see something and then you're like, I wonder why they did that, and then you don't really see anything come from it, it's kind of always in the back of your head, what are they trying to set up there? What are they trying to set up there? Watching the Watertown-Sturgis game on film, they were right with Watertown. Watertown scored on 3 trick plays. Having those things, I'm waiting. I know Sturgis has some stuff up their sleeves, and last game of the year, you might as well leave it all out there now. Hopefully we can save some of our stuff still, but, if we need it, we're going to break it out. We talked as a coaching staff against Pierre even. If we got within 1 score, again, we were going to break out some of our stuff that nobody's seen yet. So we never got back within 1 score, so we were able to keep it away, which is kind of nice, but looking forward to being able to use it at some point here.
Well, and, when you talk about getting to the point where, this year, how it ends up, it's rivalry game at the end of the year going into the playoffs. What is kind of your reaction going into a game like this where, you do know what you have on the other side, but you also know that they're going to play up to you. Well, what's kind of your feelings?
Well, they're not a bad team,
Not at all.
3 weeks ago they upset then number 1 Yankton.
Yep.
They're definitely capable of putting on some points, and their defense is really solid. So it's going to be a battle to the end. Our last few games last year was a 10-15 we lost. 2 years ago they put it on us pretty good, but 3 years ago we win that game in overtime. So it's always a good game, and I'm looking forward to another good game. Hopefully. For the rivalry's sake, for the record's sake, for the boys' sake, and for postseason's sake, we can come away with the win.
Absolutely. And then also offensively, when you look at, and even defensively, if you look at where this team was week 1 to where it is now, I think we were obviously searching for that identity first go around with T, and then going out there the rest of the season. But you've seen so many other kids step up in key roles. What is kind of your reaction to the offense, that it's not just Thomas Hughes? You have so many other key pieces here that you guys have integrated into your offense.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Week 1, we didn't know who was even going to be playing quarterback most of the time, and Jack really found his home at wide receiver. He's playing really well there. Thomas is obviously playing well at quarterback, and everybody's really kind of found their role. But it all really starts up front. The O-line. We found, where guys go. We are able to, have a couple backups that are ready to go here and there. And so those guys have been playing tremendous. Last week, Asher Peel, we switched him to, we went field side with him because they put Cooper Twirlinger on the field side. And then after they realized we were doing that, they started moving him away from Asher. And so then we just told Asher to follow him. So, having the ability of Sam and Asher they can play both sides tackle and play it well is awesome. So those guys are really our 2 big pieces that we use. And then inside, Easton Walters has really come to play for us. Zaya Torpy at center is playing really well. We've had a couple guys at guard. Skylar Bryant started there. He had a concussion, got a knee now a little bit. So Connor Albue's come in and played well there.
When it comes to remodeling your home, don't settle for halfway. JG Carpentry is Spearfish's full-service remodeling contractor, handling everything from design to the final finish. Whether it's a kitchen, bathroom, or full home remodel, their team delivers expert craftsmanship, communication, and care every step of the way. Call their experienced team today at 605-390-7000 for your free remodeling consultation.
So we've just got a lot of really good guys on the O-line, and that's really where it starts. And we can talk about all the other people, but without getting those guys in the right spot and them doing well like they are, nothing else matters.
Absolutely. And you talk about the offensive line. Also a guy like Mick Bosch, you talk about how he's learned to read. You can just see it's such a massive improvement. And honestly, I think that's just the kind of player he is. Just running inside zone and built to run inside the tackle box, if you will. So just kind of what's been your reaction to kind of see him come into a spot where, let's just be honest, Hunter Walters last year was the guy, and he didn't get a lot of time for obvious reasons. So what's kind of your reaction to how Mick Bosch has played?
He's playing great. It's our system right now is kind of interesting. It's one of those where we've got really good running backs in the room. So last year Mick kind of wanted some more touches, and we're like, well, you're behind a senior, and so now that's kind of Graham Hughes, great running back, but he's sitting behind a senior. So it kind of takes until your senior year to be able to show what you got, and honestly, it's kind of a good thing because with how we run our zone and whatever, like you said, you've got to get that feeling for it. And a lot of times it takes until you're a senior to be able to have the confidence to be patient with it and then hit the north-south when you see it. So, he's a fast kid. He's a little bowling ball. So, he wants to just get downhill and go. And we were just talking today, and he said, he's like, yeah, I've been able to find my patience and wait. It's hard to wait as a running back, and that's what we really need in our scheme. Quarterback-wise, too, with all of our read stuff, Thomas has to wait, and it feels like forever that you're waiting at quarterback, and you get, if you're not used to it, you kind of get a panic. And so we're lucky that we've got a really good quarterback room right now, too, with Thomas Hughes, Blake Andress, and Owen Meredith, where they can develop into that and have the patience and confidence to sit in the pocket and read the way that we need it.
I know one thing we had talked about was Thomas Hughes, and how it's not a position where you rest him, but it's a position where you reduce his workload getting into, especially the meat of the season and the playoffs and everything. What's your expectations for Sturgis as well as really the rest of the season?
Well, we want to. He's an explosive player, right? So anytime he touches the ball, you've got the potential of him taking it the distance. So we want to give him his touches, but it's nice that we've had a lot of guys step up and be able to carry some of that workload so that we don't have to put him in that position as much. But, we'll use him as we need, and whatever the Sturgis defense kind of gives us, we're going to take advantage of. So whether that's inside zone or throwing the ball or quarterback run game, our coaches do a great job of giving me, hey, this is something that might work against this defense that they're giving us. So looking forward to using them as we need.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, defensively, let's jump into a little bit here. We talk about, a defense in some cases that has shown it can bend but not break, but also can be dominant at times, get turnovers, put pressure on the quarterback, stop the run. What's your opinion? I know, obviously, Pierre was tough last week just because of it was something that I hadn't seen it before. So when you talk about with coming off a win like that, getting back on track in a game like Sturgis, what's kind of your expectations?
Yeah, it's tough, when you feel like you're in a game more than what the score shows.
Yes,
our
absolutely.
defense, played pretty well for the circumstances they were in. They got us in a tough formation that we didn't adjust to. We were ready for it on the goal line, and our whole plan was kind of forward on the goal line. And then, every time it didn't work, and they got a big play, we were kind of like, no, just give it time, it'll work. And so maybe needed to switch it up a little bit earlier, but we've got a pretty good game plan for it moving forward now. And again, you learn more from a loss there than from a win. And but looking forward to Sturgis. They run a lot of stuff that we're pretty familiar with because they look a lot like our offense. Mm-hmm. And week 9 you get a lot of film, so you're ready for a lot. But we're also ready. We've seen a lot of teams and covered a lot of different stuff, so we can adjust as we need to.
And I feel like at this point, you've got a lot in the defensive playbook that it's like, hey, it's just like this opponent, and that kind of stuff. So obviously going to be a big-time game. How much are you guys kind of looking at, the playoffs and kind of how things fall? And but also, I know you guys are really week to week. What's it kind of look like in that regard, but also just kind of knowing, playing Sturgis and everything?
Yeah, looking forward to playoffs. At least we know that we're going to be in the playoffs. So. Yep. And we've said it all year. If you make the playoffs in AA, you've got a chance.
Yep.
So we just got to show up no matter who we're playing in the postseason, whether we're at home or on the road, and control what we can control and go out and play the best we can. So we feel pretty good. We went 2T, put up a pretty good fight week 1 on the road, went to Huron on the road. So we've been traveling well. Hopefully we can come out with different outcomes this time if we have to travel.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like I said, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover with a good tribute and a good preview for Sturgis. Anything else you'd like to add, Coach?
Just how proud I am of all the guys that are working, especially the young guys that maybe aren't getting as much time or recognition. So those guys sticking it out, giving us good looks on scout team, giving us energy on the sideline. Really appreciative of the freshman, sophomore group that we have, and look forward to, when they turn junior, seniors, how good they're going to be.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, Coach, for coming in and everything, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
This production is brought to you by our sponsors: Millstone Family Restaurant in Spearfish, the Bassville Bison South Dakota Market, MJ Plumbing, Queen City Door, Dana Dental Arts, Superior Water, Legacy Custom Homes and Design, the Golf Club at Devil's Tower, Tropical Smoothie Cafe in Spearfish, the Clubhouse of Spearfish, Good Earth Natural Foods, CBH Co-op, Northern Hills Golf Car, Spearfish Building Supply, Hauk Electric, Pioneer Properties, I Love Spearfish, American Family Insurance Mariah Duvall Agency, McDonald's, One Way Service Pros, Black Mountain Painting, and Woods Heating and Cooling.